A major artist from Zack Snyder's Justice League showed fans a wild new piece of art for an unused superhero. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. Concept artist Gerard S. Marantz shared images of his take on Bizarro Superman on Instagram. This character was initially developed for a cancelled DC video game that never came to fruition, delivering a wild alternate universe take on the classic Man of Steel. An artist from Zack Snyder's Justice League shared a look at a new Bizarro design for a cancelled project. Before James Gunn took over as DC Studios co-CEO in 2022, Snyder's work stood as the main DC timeline on the big screen for nearly a decade. However, in the time since, new looks at some intriguing designs for Snyder's world have come to the forefront for viewers to enjoy and dissect. Along with a new take on the classic blue and red suit, Bizarro Superman's physical appearance looks much more disheveled and disgusting than the main Earth's version of the Man of Steel. The Zack Snyder's Justice League concept artist helped make a disgusting and creepy version of Superman, who has short black hair and a wrinkled gray complexion. His face is also sunken into his skull, making him look half-dead and scarier than his original counterpart, explaining how he does not usually have time to collect much reference. He noted that characters like this have had such an impact on his childhood that he feels they have a deep place in his work. In his Instagram caption, Marantz detailed how he wanted to keep Bizarro Superman simple, noting artist Alex Ross' version and the one from the animated Superman series as his favorite depictions. Here's a fun one from the archives. I got to do a pass on Bizarro for a cancelled game. Love this character. I really wanted to keep him simple. My favorite Bizarros over the year have been Alex Ross's take and the Superman animated series. I think I got a little bit of both of them in there as of writing. There are no reports detailing which game this take on Bizarro Superman would have been used in. Marantz is also known for his work as the concept artist on Zack Snyder's Justice League, which became one of the biggest streaming hits in the world upon its debut in 2021. The movie is streaming on HBO Max. It's funny, I often work so fast I don't have time to collect much reference. I can often tell a couple of days after finishing designs what I must have been subconsciously pulling from. These characters have had such an impact throughout my childhood that they genuinely feel like a part of me. While these images of Bizarro Superman tease something thrilling for this unreleased/cancelled video game, fans still wait for the concept to be realized in a live-action movie. However, after everything that went down with Ultraman in James Gunn's Superman, Gunn may have an opportunity to realize this concept in the foreseeable future. As DCU fans are well aware, Zack Snyder had countless plans for his DC story, some of which did not sit well with some when they were revealed. While he delivered on a black-suited Superman in the Snyder Cut, he never shared any insight into what he might have done with a Bizarro Superman in his universe. Superman went through plenty of wild plot points across the DCU, including meeting his end, albeit temporarily, in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice during the fight against Doomsday. The Snyder Cut even gave fans a look at another new planet with a peek into Darkseid's lair and army, which came when the Justice League looked at this area through a portal and beheaded Steppenwolf as they launched the secondary villain through the hole. A Warner Brothers storyboard artist responded to claims regarding the use of John Williams' Superman theme in the DCU. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. Superman's most memorable theme comes from music legend John Williams in the 1970s and 80s before Hans Zimmer took over composing duties within the DCU. This included giving the last son of Krypton his own music in 2013's Man of Steel, which has become memorable alongside Henry Cavill's performance as Clark Kent and Superman. But according to a new post on social media, that almost wasn't the case, as Snyder and his team examined a potential blast to the past before Zimmer came on board. Few characters in superhero movie history has been brought to life on the big screen as often as Superman, most recently by Zack Snyder within the DC Extended Universe. And with every new iteration of Superman comes a new round of theme music, most of which has become iconic in the annals of movie scores over the years. Fans shared an experience with someone who claimed that Snyder fans who didn't want Williams' score used for Cavill hated Superman and all he stands for. Oliva replied by explaining that both she and Snyder loved that theme, but Warner Brothers wouldn't actually let them use the music, instead opting for a new theme for Superman from Hans Zimmer. If I had heard that then, I would have responded that both Zack and I loved that theme, but the studio wouldn't let us use it because they wanted something new for this Superman. It turned out to be a good thing because Hans' theme was perfect. Jay Oliva, a Man of Steel storyboard artist and frequent collaborator with Zack Snyder, clarified a rumor about Hans Zimmer's theme for Superman from the DCU. Only days before Man of Steel's release, Zimmer himself spoke to CBR about Williams' theme and how he tried to approach the new movie's theme in relation to what had been done before. While calling Williams the master, Zimmer noted how different Man of Steel would have been with Williams on the score and how reluctant Zimmer actually was to do the score in the first place. Snyder helped get him in a better place with the story being told, which allowed him to feel like he was coming out of Williams' shadow with the Superman theme. In August 2012, before Man of Steel premiered in theaters, Snyder shared with MovieWeb that he avoided actually listening to Williams' theme once Zimmer was brought on board. "We had to say this is a Superman movie for the first time and you can't then go, oh, now let's steal a little music." So, yes, it's awesome music, but Hans Zimmer is going to do something awesome. For the DCU's take on Superman, having John Williams' theme would have certainly evoked the feelings of Christopher Reeve's Man of Steel from decades ago as Henry Cavill took over the role. But in the end, the franchise got its own unique voice with Hans Zimmer's score, taking the superhero genre further into the 21st century with a thrilling theme as Superman flew into battle. Any studio thinking about using John Williams' music wouldn't be making a mistake, especially considering how many iconic scores he's created across the movie landscape over the years. But in the end, bringing something unique and new to the picture is usually a good direction as well. Let's get one thing straight, John is the master, so there's no argument here. But I think if he had scored this version of Superman, he would have done completely different music. Let's make this interview about John Williams. There's no composer who understands nuance better than John. I mean, Saving Private Ryan, Schindler's List, those are impossible acts to pull off. For me, the problem was I'm a fan. I said I was the reluctant bride on this movie, and I kept saying no because of the looming shadow of John, until I sat down with Zack and I said, "Tell me the story," which was so different and so much more about things that I knew about, being a stranger in a strange land, being the kid that gets bullied, all of that stuff. And the word we were both talking about was humble. Williams almost scored DCU's Superman. The musical score is a quintessential part of any superhero movie, as shown often from composers like Alan Silvestri with the last two Avengers movies and Michael Giacchino with the MCU's Spider-Man trilogy. Marvel even took the opportunity in No Way Home to bring elements of musical themes from both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's movies to bring back memories of their own pre-MCU solo adventures. Zack Snyder gave praise to Marvel Studios on its films and discussed what set his DC movies apart from them. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Please like, share and subscribe for more. However, Snyder said that DC should attempt to try being like them due to Marvel having such a huge head start building their universe, but also because of Warner Brothers having multiple